What's up, Lego builders? Welcome back to Coconut Brick Studios for another week of building Utapau. I have really been anticipating this week just because I'm getting to the point where I'm really starting to finish things up 100% or pretty much 100%. I know last update I said I was planning on finishing that second building in this update. That didn't happen, unfortunately, because of parts. I wasn't sure what parts exactly I needed to finish the building. I'm going to kind of plan out, figure out what I need, and get those parts in so I can get that building finished as soon as possible. That being said, I should have all the parts to finish the other building, so we should be able to finish that pretty much completely. I don't have a lot to do over there. I just need to finish that dome area as well as building up the rock work. And you know, there's always a few odds and ends and other areas that I need to work on with Utapau. It being such a big mock, there's always something that needs to be done. I'm also going to be tackling the bottom area of the mock. Finally, I've been talking about it really since the beginning and never really done anything with it, so I'm going to show you guys what I plan on doing down there. All in all, it should be a pretty good week. Let's go see the mock. Alright, this week I'm going to be focusing on this second building once again, and I already have some cool progress to show you guys. So back here on this back wall, I got the whole back wall done. I decided just to copy this same oval pattern right here on this back side just for consistency's sake, but the cool thing I'm doing back here is this little power generator area. So problem I've been thinking about with Utapau is it's so flat. Besides, you know, these large structures like the building and the arch, there wasn't a lot of little detail yet on the inner cavern. And so right here I decided to create a small little power station. So right here we've got a large power tank, kind of got like a grid of the surrounding area with, like, I don't know, electrical stuff on it, then that pipe running into the wall. I've got a little computer right here mounted on the side of this wall. I also made the computer just high enough so a minifigure can stand at it. Next to the computer, I've got these little pipes running from the wall down into the ground. They don't have any specific kind of function, just to add more detail and texture to this back wall. And then next to those, I have these energy coils. Now, these things don't really have any specific function. They're just here to make this area look cooler, but I kind of wanted to give them kind of the same shape and look as like some kind of futuristic power generators. This larger coil right here is a pretty simple design. I just used these pieces stacked on top of each other with some of these, I don't know what you would call these. I don't remember. These things just stacked on a Technic axle, and then I just stacked a bunch on top of each other like that. I might do a second one, I'm not sure. And then these smaller pylons or generators, whatever you want to call them, are just those half spheres that make up the ball turrets of AT-ATs and gunships. So nothing too complicated here, which was nice because I didn't have to order in any parts to create this area. Everything was built from what I had on hand. Now, the last thing I put in is this weird thing sitting on top of this tall pole. Still not 100% sure what this is, but as I was looking at screenshots I took at the Battle of Utapau, I saw a very similar structure to this. I'll put a picture up so you guys can see what exactly I was referencing. So I made it just to create some kind of storage thing, whether it's power, water, oil. I'm not really sure yet, but I've got a hose connecting it to the wall. This hose has two functions: one to keep this thing steady because it's pretty wobbly, and also just to make this thing look more connected to this area in the wall. It was pretty easy to make. It's just a bunch of these cylinder pieces stacked on top of each other, and then right here I just took some of these quarter pieces, hooked them together, and then connected two of them together to create kind of like an alien saucer shape. That's pretty much everything I wanted to show you guys over here. I'm very happy with how it all turned out, especially because I had no clear vision for what I wanted to do here. I just knew I wanted to have some kind of like power area or kind of like a generator area, something that you'll see kind of in like a large apartment complex or building. You know, they'll have that section that houses all the power functions. I am trying to decide if I should add a second one of these larger energy coils. Let me know down below in the comments if you think I should have two of those and two of the smaller ones, or just keep it with two small ones and one big one. Now, moving on to the rest of the building, I did put down some of these bottom hinge pieces. I just barely got a bunch of dark bluish gray top pieces to put in here. That's why none of these have any in them, is because I didn't own any. So that package right there, we're going to be opening in just a second, and I'll be able to put all those down. This will allow me to be able to put this second story wall at an angle so it matches these pillars, so it'll all look like that when it's finished. I'm not really sure what the whole design aesthetic of this upper wall is going to look like. I'm going to have to figure that out once I get these hinge pieces finished off. I do also need to finish up this back area, kind of build it up all level to about right there. I'm probably going to do a time lapse of that just because time lapses are really fun, and I don't get to do that very often. But before we hit the time lapse, let's go open that package. All right, it's haul time. Tell you what, guys, I am really going to miss having this large platform right here. It's so convenient for opening up my packages because, I don't have to turn around, clear off my white table, get it all set up, and I feel like this looks much prettier than just a blank white background. We got a few different things in here for a few different projects. So I got some light tan tile, dark tan tile, dark orange tile, dark bluish gray, a lot of tile. This BrickLink store had a lot of different kinds of tile, so I decided to capitalize and buy for a few different projects. These are these upper hinge pieces I was talking about. So I have the bottom hinge piece already. I just needed this piece. I bought about 28, I think, so that should be enough to cover the entire length of the building. And I think that's basically it. I did get a bunch of these dark orange tiles just because they were a decent price, so I think I bought like 150 of those. Doesn't look like there's anything else of too much importance in here, so that's it for this mini haul. Time to go hit that time lapse. Okay, so I just finished my live stream and I got a lot of progress done on this building area over here. So this is as high as I need to go right here for this back wall. So I'm as high as I need to be over here on this side. I just need to do a little bit more work on this front side. I have noticed a couple things happening right now with this rock work. You can see down here it's a lot more detailed, a lot more slopes, but the higher up I get and the more desperate I am to finish, you can see it starts to get a little bit simpler. We've got larger flat areas, larger slope areas. I'm not sure if I like that, but I don't know if I'm going to change it just because this is going to be in the back of the mock. There's going to be a roof on top of this. There's going to be minifigures, ships, vehicles. So this isn't really supposed to be the focal point right here, so I might just leave it. The second thing is I am just about out of filler brick. You can see that little bag over there by that kind of like electrical grid area. And that's all the filler brick I have, so I'm definitely going to need to put another order in. I have been using up a ton for this inner side. Over here on this side, we are all nice and done. It looks pretty good. I'm very happy with how the rock work turned out. I do need to put this dome on, figure out how I'm going to be doing that, so maybe I'll do that in a little bit. I also got this wall all nice and finished. You guys saw the time lapse of that. Can't do much with this side till this front part's built. I got all of these pieces in and ready to go. You can see the top hinge pieces in as well as the bottom. So once I get more parts in for this wall right here, I can actually start building the wall. I need a lot of light bluish gray and dark bluish gray brick. I did say I wanted to have this building done by this update. Fortunately, that didn't happen, but I'm still happy with the progress that was made. The main holdup right now is just getting parts in. But what I'm most excited to show you guys is actually down here. So ever since the beginning of the mock, I've been wondering what's going to happen down here. Because of the kind of circular curved angle of this rock face, we have a large gap of base plate down here. I had thought about doing freeform mock in the beginning. I'm very glad I didn't do that because that would have been a massive pain and cost a lot of money. So ever since then, I've been thinking about different things to do down here. And for a while, I was actually thinking about putting like the pools of water where Obi-Wan Kenobi and his Boga fall when they get shot off the cliff wall. That was the kind of the best thing I could think of. I had thought about leaving it blank. That was a terrible idea. But the problem with doing the Obi-Wan Kenobi stuff with the pools of water was I didn't like how short it made Utapau look. It made it look like, from here to there was the entire height of the cliff. And you guys know Utapau is just so tall, massively tall, taller than I can accurately, depict in this mock. And so that would have really shortened the mock a lot and just made these platforms look less impressive just because it's like, oh, it's, only that high above the ground. And so I've been trying to think of a workaround for a while, and I think I've finally figured it out. And that's where this black tile comes in. So basically what I'm going to do is act like this front part right here is just part of the base that the mock is sitting on. You know how a lot of times us mock builders, when we're building mocks, we'll put a black frame, whether it be circular, square, whatever shape you want to do. You've seen those black frames. So I'm going to be kind of doing something similar where I'm going to be covering this entire part all in black tile. And that way, kind of when you come back, if you look at it, as a whole, it'll really just look like it's sitting on like a black platform or a black frame or something like that. So it won't really look like it's part of the mock. And I almost feel like it'll help convey how tall this is because the mock just drops down into black, if you get what I'm saying. So I'm very excited to have had that figured out because doing the black instead of like pools of water in terrain is going to be a lot cheaper and a lot quicker. And those are two things I'm really trying to focus on as I'm coming up towards the end of this mock. But let me know what you guys think of me doing black tile down here. It's kind of like a frame. If you like it, don't like it. If you have any other suggestions, let me know. I'm back for one last update this week. I got everything cleared off and cleaned up so you guys can really see how much has been done on Utapau. So I was able to get this rock work all finished. I got it up to the correct level. So now I am completely done with all this rock work. I did make it kind of flat up here. You guys can see there's not a whole lot of slopes of any kind up there, and that is for a reason. You'll understand more once I get into what I'm going to be doing for this upper rock work. It'll kind of connect a certain way. And then over here, I was able to finish up this tower as well because I want to put this dome piece on the top, but originally it was just straight right here. There wasn't this little slope. And so part of this dome piece was hanging over the edge and I didn't like that. So I kind of built out this side right here. You can see there's some inverted slopes underneath. I think it looks pretty good. I'm going to be putting some more of these cheese slopes upside down to kind of cover up those holes right there on the bottom of the inverted slope. But other than that, it's pretty much done, and I think it turned out pretty nice. It's not completely finished, it's just about done, and then I did throw some flags up there on the top. I just felt like, it looks kind of like a castle tower, so I should have some kind of flags up there. I did the same thing over here on this side. This whole tower area was really tough for me, just because it was really only half a circle, this front half, and then these two sides were flat. So how do you incorporate a complete circle onto a half circle tower or a quarter circle, whatever you want to call it, third, I don't know. But I think I'm pretty happy with the solution I was able to come up with, which was basically just adding some of these small wedge plates right there and then some plate behind it and kind of gradually, sloping back this way. It's not perfect, but I think it gets the job done and I think it looks pretty good, especially, like I've said a few times, this area isn't supposed to be the focal point of the mock, so I think as long as it looks passable, it'll be all right. One other thing I want to point out before I finish is I don't really like the ratio of plate to tile back here. I kind of like up here better. You can see there's more tile and less plate, and then back here it comes into more plate. The reason that happened was because as I slowly built this way, I began to run out of tile. So I think I'm going to pull some of this up and replace it with tile just so that it looks better. I'll probably do a little bit over there too. This side isn't as bad. It's mostly this back corner over here. Anyways, that wraps up this week of building Utapau. I am so happy to be all done with this building. Everything's done over there. It's all lit up. It's all finished. So now I can really focus my attention and getting this building done. I would like to have this building done by the next update. That way the last two updates I can focus on building this upper rock work right here. It's all coming together and I am really excited. All that being said, it's time to go hit the outro. I hope you guys enjoyed this week of building Utapau. I am so happy to be done with one section. It's so nice in a mock this big to be able to check off an area of the mock, just because it feels like, all these areas take so long and there's always these little details and these little things that need to be added or bought and purchased. So to have that area finished is a big deal because next week I plan on finishing that other building, which will be, and if I can do that, that means the last 2 weeks will be me working on the upper rock work. So there should be only 3 updates left after this one, if all goes to plan. I'm also really happy with the breakthrough I had with the black tile down at the bottom of the mock. That was honestly something that had been kind of stressing me out for a while, just not really knowing what I was going to do down there and kind of dreading purchasing all those different kinds of parts that I was going to need to work on that area. So just to be able to tile it off and have it look that good is really cool. That wraps up this episode. If you guys liked the video, don't forget to leave me a big thumbs up. And if you have any questions or comments or anything at all, please let me know down below in the comments section. I love interacting with you guys down there. And if you're new to the channel, Please consider subscribing so you don't miss out on any future content, but until next time, happy building.